Hey guys, it's Chris, and I'm here reacting to the video April Lauren put out just a couple of hours ago. I did not get a notification for this. It showed up on my front page when I went to the home screen on YouTube. It's titled 2-Week Post-Op Update and Weigh-In After Weight Loss Surgery, and she had the duodenal switch, or the duodenal switch. However you want to say it, it's said both ways. I can't seem to get caught up on my videos, guys, in girl world. There's a lot going on with foodie beauty. It has a lot to do with diabetes and weight and health and medical and nutritional misinformation. So I made like a chart that I posted on Twitter. I might post it in the community page or in a video I do, but she's been posting so many, it's hard to keep up with her. But I feel like it's really important for me to kind of address what's going on with her, because she's giving wrong and dangerous medical misinformation to diabetics, and she's gonna freaking hurt herself. And then all the stuff with Amber, who I just need a little mental break from. And then we have April and Alex. I'm behind an Alex vlog. I have to I'm going to react to the vlog she put in today. She did today at some point today, and I might go back and do her last one. If it's worth reacting to, I may react. I may just have to skip it. So blah, yeah. And it's like getting to be where I'm going to get into a busy time of my summer season coming up. But we're going to figure it out between the girls and trying to maybe work on the second channel and wanting to get back going with my shop, getting the house finished and stuff. I may be making videos at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. You might see some uploads from me coming in at like 1 or 2 in the morning. But they will come. So you can be sure of that. So let's get into this one. It's a 20-minute video. I must say April looks lovely. I think her hair looks very nice. She looks very chipper. And that's the name of her one dog. So let's see what April has to say. She sped up for time. If I have to skip through anything, I will, and I will link her video down below.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the second weigh-in video. 2 weeks ago, I had a weight loss surgery. I had a duodenal switch, and cannot believe I am 2 weeks post-op. 2 weeks ago, I had weight loss surgery. I had the duodenal switch, and I am excited that I am sharing my second week update. And I'm excited I had broken.
I have to say, guys, I really hope this works for her, but I also really hope that this music behind her is not copyrighted, or it's going to take an extra 2.5 hours to get this uploaded and out, because I'm going to have to mute the music.
The ice with recording last week, because I feel like that makes this a little easy. Tomorrow, I meet with a nutritionist, and then I progress to the next phase of the diet and will no longer be on the liquid diet, which I'm pretty.
Okay, so she's done with the liquid diet part, and she's moving into the soft foods diet. So, like, this is still a pretty easy phase. It's going to be once she can start to incorporate, like, quote, normal foods and solid foods and stuff, you know, over those months that things might get a little trickier.
Excited about protein shakes are pretty disgusting, but if you are new here, I'm April Lauren. I'm on a weight loss journey to lose 200 pounds, and here on my YouTube, Wake Up Right, I share all things to help live each day a little brighter. I cannot believe that I am 2 weeks post-op, and I also can't believe that I feel as good as I do. So I am, 2 weeks and 1 day. So I have met with my surgeon. He is very happy with how the rash is healed. I don't know how much I talked about it, but
oh yeah, she's got like a real allergy to the tape and stuff on the bandages and stuff. I have that, but not to the degree I don't think that she has. So that's good. Some people can really have some complications. I'm really glad things are going smoothly. And if you hear me sipping on something here, I have my traditional coffee with a touch of organic cacao powder and a little bit of my sweet Italian creamer. So I am settled in, ready to go, making the reacts. But there you have it.
I got a rash. I was allergic to the steri strips that they use over the incisions, and my body had a pretty intense inflammatory response, and like grew and grew and grew and grew. Luckily, it didn't ever overtake my whole stomach, And now it's almost gone. And the surgeon was just saying that what's left is probably just damaged skin, and it will literally have to go through the layers of skin, like grow out essentially. So like the top layer will die, and then it'll lighten and lighten. So I don't know. I've never had an allergic reaction like that before. So we'll see how this goes. But he was happy how that's healed up. My incisions on the outside are healed up really well. Last night I did roll over, and I have some stitches on where they had this cut into a muscle, or a stitch. I don't know how many stitches, but it's like a stitch or a couple stitches. But I rolled over, and in the middle of the night it woke me up because it hurt so bad. But I really don't have much pain left. Like, I feel like it was exponential that first week, and then there was the itching and stuff, but it just continued to disappear until, I don't know, the past couple days. I can touch the spots and they don't really hurt. There's one spot, the spot over the muscle still.
It's a painful procedure, and especially when you have a really aggressive one, like she had, it can really lay people up, and especially like years ago when they had to go in and really do more of a full surgery as opposed to like the laparoscopic and stuff now. A friend of mine from work, when I was working on the ambulance, had that, and it really kicked his butt. So it has come a long way, luckily.
A little tender to touch, but I'm pretty happy with how that's going. I can also drink more than I thought I was going to be able to. It's interesting how like your expectation and then the reality, which everybody is different. And so I think they prepare you for maybe worse case scenario. But one of the questions, I had this list that I went into the surgeon with. One of them was, hey, I can like drink more than like 2 ounces over 15 minutes. Because now I can probably I can drink like, I don't know, 4 or 6 ounces over half an hour. And there's no pain involved. There's no discomfort. I'm completely fine afterwards. So I'm like,
you got to watch though, because even with liquids, you can start to push that limit with how much your stomach can hold and how much you can eat, and eventually begin stretching it out. That's like a slow and long process though. So you still have to be kind of mindful about the liquids too.
I broken? Like, why can I drink so much more all of a sudden? Well, I guess it wasn't really all of a sudden, but he's like, you're supposed to be able to drink. But it was the sipping and not gulping and worrying about like overfilling the stomach, I feel like was so paramount in my mind, both between...
Yeah, because you can still get the dumping syndrome.
The informational packets, the informational sessions with the dietitian, and then also stuff I see online from other people who can't drink anything. And it's such an individual experience. So very little, I think, of what I share about my experience will apply directly to anyone. Watching what I go through won't be anything like what maybe you were going through or went through or could go through, or if you are just watching because it's interesting, then if you're watching different people, they're all, like everybody's just so different. I am very grateful that I can drink because I don't like to be dehydrated. So I was worried about being able to drink enough, but my surgeon was like, actually, you need to drink more. He's like, summer is coming and you need to be able to drink more so that way you don't get dehydrated. And so I'm very excited. He also said that I need to start doing a dedicated like walk or other cardio, but I'm very limited on the cardio. So I can like walk on a treadmill, or I could walk and do like an upright bike, I guess, but I can't do anything that really engages your core, like on a row machine or...
Yeah, April, you don't need to be training for a marathon. You don't need to be doing decas and Spartans and all this. Just good old walking, and then you can work your way up to that other stuff again later.
Any of the stuff we have in the garage, I can't do those yet, not until 6 weeks. But I need, in addition to getting steps in, I need a 30-minute walk where I am walking as hard as I can. And he's like, and it's okay if you're completely exhausted. And I talked to him about, I have a little bit of pain in that one muscle group when I walk. Like, I have to walk quite a bit. So it's not like I just walk. When I'm walking around my house, it doesn't affect me. But when I start going on longer walks, even if it's very slow, it will start pooling. I don't know, it just feels weird. But the good news is that whatever is going on there will go away when the sutures like dissipate. And the surgeon was like, used to, people would have these surgeries and those stitches would be permanent. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that would be so terrible. So I have a lot to be grateful for. The thing I'm very excited about that he said is that I no longer have to take the pills. He said that if I stop taking them and then my skin reacts poorly, to start taking them again, but I don't have to take them, the pills for the allergy. So it's like an extra strength of Benadryl.
That's good. And then like once she's all clear and healed from surgery, she should have no trouble getting cardio in, because she has 2 huge working class dogs, German Shepherds, that require a lot of walking and energy expenditure every single day.
But it just knocks me out. I was sleeping so much. So this whole week I slept a ton, and that's probably why I've healed the way that I have. That's all of the sleep that I have gotten, and it's almost like forced sleep. And it's interesting though, because when I'm not sleeping, I have energy. I feel like even just before the surgery, when I would do things, everything felt like such a chore. I might have said this last week too, but it's even more so this week. Like everything felt like if I dropped something, it's like a question, like, am I going to pick it up? Which is just wild, because why would you even think about it? If you dropped it, of course you're going to pick it up. But it's like every movement had gotten to be work.
Well, and it's like, too, she's getting, I'm going to slow her down just a little bit because she normally talks really slow, but I don't want her to be too fast for you guys. She's getting used to, like, working on a much different calorie deficit than she has been eating for a very, very long time. And there's a lot of the absorption issues, so she will be absorbing less things, and she's going to have to adjust to that. So and just the process of recovering from a major surgery, it'll sap your energy and stuff like that. So I'm not kind of surprised that she feels like this for the first couple of weeks, as long as it just starts getting better.
And it's not so quickly, which part of that is the amount of weight that I'm down. Even if it's mostly inflammation and things that have gone out of my body, it is still an incredible amount of weight for just 2 weeks. I was pretty happy when I went into my doctor's appointment. So I had to go upstairs. And when I walked in from outside, and then I walked through the hospital, and then I like almost went on the elevator, and it's only on the second floor. And I looked around and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not getting in the elevator with that many people. So I just turned around and found the stairs, and I went up.
Are you guys afraid of elevators? It's a common phobia. I don't love them. I don't really hate them. I don't like have an intense fear of them, but it's like, you know, it's iffy sometimes. And if you have a choice to use the stairs, I guess it is just it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up in the grand scheme of things with some energy and for exercise. And steps are far more intense than just walking on a plain flat surface. She just has to be careful not to overdo it just yet.
Up the stairs, and it felt the same. I don't know if this makes any sense when I'm saying it, but it felt the same. But it felt the same to me as just walking flat. Like there was no difference. There was, of course, my body's using different muscles, so there's differences. But I didn't feel the muscles working. There wasn't the level of effort of walking, which there is not a lot of walking at just my walking pace, which is slow. And
well, okay, yeah, I get that because she's walking slow, but I was going to say, if she's, like, out on a walk or walking for exercise, I don't believe that at her size right now, it's not effort, because I weigh a lot less than her, and I'm still very overweight, and for me, it feels like a lot of effort, especially in the heat. April did have a tendency to kind of, like, over-exaggerate her physical capabilities and achievements. I hope she doesn't fall into that trap again, but I don't know, just an observation.
Easy. And then just walking up the stairs, there was no like effort, noticeable effort change to where I was like, oh, you know, and I don't feel like that was true at all. Like I think halfway up, half the flight, first flight, she go like half the flight and then the next to make it to the second floor. I think by the time I got to that half flight, I'd be like, oh, no, like breathe for a second. By the time I get to the top, it's like I feel it. It's because I have like a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, oh, am I going to be out of breath now? Like, am I going to be embarrassed? Am I going to be huffing and puffing?
Don't worry about being embarrassed. Like, just be like, okay, I took the stairs and it's hard for me, but I did it and I'm proud of it. Just don't worry about the being embarrassed thing.
Like in 2 seconds. And sometimes when I have thoughts like that, I actually hold my breath, and that just never works out very well. But
pass out.
I was able to do it, but there was a significant effort. And if there was another, like, let's say I go up to the third flight, I don't think that would happen. And like,
she should go down to the beaches, because you know, she lives in Hawaii, and walk on the sand. I mean, that's like the equivalent of swimming in like water and stuff, because of the resistance with the sand. Oh my gosh, that'll kick your butt. And then the workouts could actually probably be half the time of a normal walk, and you would still get just as much out of it because of just how freaking hard it is to walk and stuff and run in sand. And then it'd be nice if she could take us on some of the hiking trails into the wilderness in Hawaii. Hawaii has some beautiful nature and hills and stuff. I'd like her to get to the point where she can take us on and see those things.
There's been times in my life where I lived on a third floor with no elevators available. So
Now, if you aren't familiar with April, you have to know, like, back when she had lost all that weight before she met Kenny and stuff, and when she first met him, she was extremely active. She went to the gym and exercised a lot. She used to walk to church and all that. She went rock climbing and stuff for fun, like actual out in Provo, Utah, into the Utah wilderness, like proper cliff scaling and stuff. She was very, very, very physically active. So it goes to show you how weight can affect you and how deconditioned you can be and stuff. I'm sure she'd like to get to that point again. I would like to see her to that point again.
You walked it. You walked that. And that used to be like no effort change. So, anyway, I am very happy to be where I'm at. And so now let's talk about my weigh-in. So I weighed in last week at 302 pounds, and this week I weighed in at 294 points.
Aren't we getting any of the placards, the April Lauren trademark placards with the weight and stuff? April, please go back to doing that. Also, honey, at some point you're gonna have to step on a scale. You have questionable integrity because of the last time. I'm not trying to be mean about that. I'm just being honest. So you really want to go about it the right way this time. But anyways, I'm going to listen to that again.
Week at 302 pounds, and this week I weighed in at 294.8 pounds. 0.8? Yeah. So 294.8 pounds this week. And I am pretty excited. That brings me to...
See, now that's... And the saddest part is, if she would have been really on point with her diet, and she would have been exercising the way she claimed before, she could have been pulling numbers like this, or close to this, for a long time without surgery. And I don't believe her highest weight was 352. I'm her height. I'm like 5'1", and just seeing her at her heaviest, she looked like she was ready to pop. I think her highest weight was closer to 375, 380, between like 375 and 400. And I think she was truly embarrassed by that and didn't want to, just couldn't bring herself to say it. And that was part of the problem she got into with the lying. I'm not saying I don't think she's lying now. I think she's kind of being honest about where her weight is, and the weight loss because of the surgery. But she's going to have to step on the scale and just cowgirl up and prove it at some point. She's going to, because people are going to say, April, you need to show it. This weighing in naked, the reflection on the scale. No, you go to the doctor's office, have Kenny stand back and record the whole thing while the nurse weighs you. At some point, I feel like she should want to do that. She should want to come at it this time from a truly transparent point of view. I don't know if that's what we're going to get. She's always been super protective about that actual scale number. Probably because there was dishonesty, but I'm positive about this one. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
20 pounds since surgery day, and
that is great.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I am losing. I am expecting a stall. I wonder if it's going to...
Now, I'm not she's not wrong for expecting a stall, but that's not due to happen for some time yet, right? It's definitely gonna slow a little bit when she gets back onto the soft foods and then solid foods, but she could still utilize just liquid protein shakes and stuff instead of just eating all of her meals. If she's having trouble controlling herself, or to kind of keep the weight loss really going, as long as she's getting proper nutrients and protein and stuff like that. But she's not due for a stall yet. I don't want her to just focus on the negative and, this bad thing's gonna happen, this stall's gonna happen. Just I think she needs to just kind of do what I do. Take it day by day, week by week, see how it goes, set yourself like small goals, and over the days and the weeks, those add up to bigger ones. I don't think she should get into the habit of like thinking too far ahead and like being negative and catastrophizing, because she has a habit of doing that. I know what it's like. We all do it, right? But I think it kind of puts her in a negative headspace. So I think she's trying to avoid that.
Gonna happen like this week. So I've heard through the grapevine that week 3 usually brings a stall, and I wonder if it's the switching from liquids to whole foods.
Probably.
But time will tell.
Listen to me, definitely, probably.
And maybe there won't be a stall, because going based off of what I see most is that when people have surgery, they're disappointed and they're like, is it normal for me not to lose after? Which I would say that's probably pretty normal for you to have an inflammatory response. And I may have touched on this last week, I can't remember, but I wonder if I just have a lot of food allergies. My little sister did a food test. I feel like I'm just repeating stuff. My little sister did a food test and she was like allergic to everything. And so
was it Emily? I wonder if she posted about that on her channel. I'll have to go and check.
I'm wondering if cutting all, so like no gluten, no lactose, has been in my diet. And so I wonder if that's helped my inflammation.
Well, you really should be low carb right now anyways, especially after the surgery. You should be focusing on protein, and then like some vegetables and a little bit of good fat as your stomach tolerates it, but protein.
Because like before surgery, I wasn't even aware of pain that I had.
Carbohydrates should be like the furthest thing from your mind, unless they come from a vegetable. Like they should definitely be the afterthought. But I mean, if she wants to like be concerned and check for food allergies and sensitivities, there's nothing wrong with that. Like it'd be good to know, right?
I just noticed now the absence of it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm so much pain, I'm gonna take some medicine for this. But like the joints in my fingers, like my knuckles, my shoulders, my elbows especially ached. So it was mostly just upper body stuff. My lower body's fine, but in my hands, in my face, like I can see.
I don't know if I believe the lower body's fine. I mean, as far as like inflammation from foods and systemic inflammation, yeah, I can see that. But I would imagine because she did have a legitimate serious knee injury she suffered. She fell off of a stool or something at work, and she did suffer a legitimate messed up leg and knee. But I think just like carrying that much weight around would cause just constant aching and stiffness and pain in the lower body, right? Especially all of your load-bearing joints.
So much change. So I'm very happy about the no inflammation. I'm very happy with the 20 pounds down. I've done it, and
That's really good. That's great. I am super happy for her, and that has to be like super motivating too.
Don't have an anxiety about gaining it back. I think that's the best.
April, no. Wait, let me see.
20 pounds down. I've done it, and I don't have an anxiety about gaining it back.
And I know that's like a concern, and that's always been a big, like obsessive point of concern for her. I worry about that too, but I'm not thinking about that. Like I haven't lost all my weight yet. I'm like, you can't just worry about every pound you lose. Oh my God, gaining it back. Worry about that when you cross that bridge. Worry about that when you get to maintenance. Then start thinking about, how do I avoid gaining it back? How do I maintain these healthy habits? What do I have to do right now? Just focus on the losing. Say, hey, I did it. I've lost this much weight. I lost that pound. I lost another pound. I've lost 20 pounds, and I'm going to take that win, and I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to be happy about it, and I'm not going to like worry about gaining that back yet. Still keep looking forward is what I'm saying. Like, I know it's hard to do, but she really needs to do that.
I think that's the best part. Well, maybe not the best. The best part is the indifference I feel to food. Like, yes.
That's really good. Whenever food does not control you when you're a problem eater, it is amazing. It's like, it's freeing. Like I've said that before. The problem is once she's back to eating normal foods and stuff, like that is gonna wane to some degree. So I hope she's getting the therapy and stuff she needs to, and finding the tools to deal with that, because I don't think that will last forever.
I feel hungry, especially like those mental things where you're like, ooh, you're eating that. That would be really good. But the difference between pre-surgery on the liquid diet and post-surgery on the liquid diet is like huge. Before on the liquid diet, it's like it was hard to not have something like chewy in my, like not chew things.
Yeah, and I even mentioned that in a recent video. Like, I only did a 3-day fast, and the hardest, like, it was easy. The hardest part was the last, like, couple of hours, because I knew it was going to be ending and I was going to be able to eat. And I didn't even really miss food per se, and I wasn't even necessarily hungry. But I distinctly remember I missed the act of physically chewing something. It's just, like, weird. It's a mental thing.
And then post, I might be like, ooh, that looks good, because it does look good. But there's no, like, pull towards actually having it.
That's good. And I hope that Kenny, even though he doesn't really have a weight problem and doesn't have to be as strict as her, I hope he's not bringing like a bunch of really bad trigger foods for her into the house. Like, if he's going to eat them when you're at work on base or something like that, just don't bring them in, because she clearly can't have them in the house. And it's not just her. It's a lot of people. There's certain things I cannot have in the house. I cannot have Rice Krispie treats in the house. That's like a really big one for me. Some cakes and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't. So I hope he's being mindful about what he's eating around her, at least until she's a little more, until she's got a more solid grip on this type of mindset.
So that's been good.
And he seems like he's supportive in her losing weight. So I assume he probably is trying to be mindful to some degree.
Yeah. So there's
we haven't seen Kenny yet, April.
Things. So, well, one more thing. So, like, especially if my husband's like, let's say he's making like a steak. Pre-surgery in the liquid diet phase, my mouth would be like watering. Like, I would want it so bad. And post, I'm like, ooh, that steak smells good and it looks good. And then I'm all like, do.
Nope, I don't want
doing whatever it is that I've been doing, and not, there's a physiological difference, and it doesn't feel like it's just
and I'm assuming steak wouldn't even be that bad. Like, steak is one of the healthiest things you can eat. It's such a good protein. I'm assuming, especially depending on the cut of steak, that right now, like, initially they won't want her to have steak and stuff like that, as because it's maybe a fattier meat. So they might want her, just for the calorie control and stuff, to focus on more lean proteins. If you've had surgery, or you know somebody who does, or you know about that, let me know if that is the case. I'm assuming that's probably why, but let me know.
It feels more like my body reacts different. Even if my thoughts are similar, like I'm like, oh, that looks good, I don't have like this need to have things anymore. And that day I was super hungry, and I like put 2 puddings. Like, it was like a different flavor. So instead of it just being chocolate, it was like chocolate with like the white in the middle and then chocolate at the bottom. And so I was feeling hungry, and we hadn't had any. I was so tired of protein shakes, so tired of soups, so tired of all the things. And so it's just something subtly different. And so I'm like, I'm going to have 2 of these. And I put it on my plate. And then I ate like a few bites, and I'm like, really not that hungry.
And you need to get into that habit of portion controlling, not just like, oh, this is good, I'm gonna have 2 portions. Always start with 1 first. You know what I mean? Don't get into that habit of taking more. Get into the habit of taking less, and then wait, and if you need more, truly have a little more.
So, like, over the course of a few times, there's one medicine in capsule form, and I have to take it out of the capsule and swallow it. And so I always do pudding for that. Like, that's the main thing I do with the pudding, is I put that capsule on it, and then I swallow it down, so that way the little beads aren't all in my mouth, because that's disgusting. But the doctor, I was trying so hard to not have to do that. I was like, that was also one of my questions in the doctor's office. I was like, so can I just start taking that? Because I feel like I've been taking a ton of pills. Like, They had me take them.
You will. Like I said, I know, like, the one friend I had, like, when I was visiting up at his camp, I had to give him, I mean, I didn't have to, but because he was a paramedic, and he was like, oh, can you give me my, like, B12 shots and stuff? Just because nobody else does them for me, and you're here and you know how to do it, so just give me a break and you do it. And he took a lot of oral supplements, but he also was, took a lot of, like, took B12, and I think there was a couple other things in there that were actually injections. So I don't know if April is queasy about injections or stuff, or if her doctor just does them all oral, but there is a lot of vitamins and supplementation.
Horse-sized calcium pill at the hospital, and I swallowed that down, and it was very uncomfortable at first, but now it's not uncomfortable. So I'm like, can I just swallow it? And they're like, I mean, you could, but it will be better for you if you don't. And so I'm like, okay, I'll still do that. And it's not a fun time. Not a fun time. But it's that specific pill is for is to help prevent ulcers. What they did is, I guess it's more common to get ulcers.
Oh, for like stomach acid and stuff?
Or could be, I don't know. I don't know the why. He explained the why very well to me to where I understood
She's
when he
like,
said it.
I don't know why. He just gave me these pills. I said, okay, I'm taking them and doing the thing. I don't know why.
Repeating it back, it's not going to happen. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm like, what else did I write down to ask him? So I think that's everything that I wrote down to ask the doctor. The biggest thing I was worried about was that and I think this speaks to part of my problem through many years, is that I worried that I was broken. I'm like, did I already ruin my pouch? I talked about this a little earlier. Why can I drink so much?
Yeah, see, she's like, she really catastrophizes, and that's like a lot of us do that, right? But she can't look at herself as she's just this broken doll that oh, I can't be fixed, throw me in the corner, I'm done for. It's not a good mindset, and I know it's so easy to get into. I am super hard on myself, and I've thought very low of myself, but I hate seeing other people think that way. And I think April, some people, they do better with negativity or harsh criticism or stuff like that, because they really work well when they're proving someone wrong or trying to prove a point or prove themselves. But I think April's really one of those ones that works better with the positive reinforcement and the positive mindset. So I think she just really needs to try to stay in that, because then she'll get herself down, and then she'll kind of, not want to do as good or feel like she's not doing good. And then, my uncle said something, a phrase, and it fits in so many different ways, but I think it kind of works for April, and just for weight loss, for any type of personal success and stuff like that. Because my mom used to be so hard on me, and no matter what I did, she would always put me down and kind of just expect the worst of me. You know what I mean? It's weird, not so much in my figure skating. That was a different kind of pressure and stuff for my mom. And in the later years of my mom's life, we'd made up. She had changed a lot. She loved my son to death. We got along greatly, and I loved her dearly, and I'm so grateful for those last years I had with her where everything was good. But when I was growing up, it was really rough, and she would talk very negatively about me. And my uncle looked at her, and I was in another room, and I heard him say to her, he said, Donna, kids and people, but we're talking about your daughter, kids will live down to your expectations as much as they will live up to them. And it's so true. A lot of people, that's how it is. You will live down to your expectations, or someone's as much as you will try to live up to them. So I think that's why it's really important for April to try to take the wins, the little wins. Don't put more pressure on herself, oh, I did this, but I should have done this, and I should have been able to do this, or I used to be able to do this. Work your way up, and I think she will be much better off.
I feel like I could just take in so much more than last week, and so obviously I'm broken. And I see it too on the different forums and stuff where they're questioning the amount of liquid they can take in within the context of, have I already like ruined what I just had done? And I think that most of the time, all of the time even, there's that nagging intrusive thought that I am doing something to undo or to break or to cause something that will repeat.
You can do that, but just stick to the plan, April. Just stick to the plan the doctor gives you.
Past cycles. And it's interesting to see in others, and then it's interesting to have that same experience where I'm like, oh no, is it broken? But I trust my surgeon, and so when my surgeon's like, no, we want you to drink water, you're supposed to be able to take in water,
yeah,
then that makes me feel good. And so I don't know if it's coming through, but I just feel so much more energetic than last week.
Yeah, she definitely is more kind of upbeat and smiley this video. You can definitely see it.
I feel just happy and motivated, and I don't know, just great.
That's so good, and I'm just really happy for her because, like I said in the last video, we need a win in girl world. We really, really do, and April might be our only chance of that. So, like I said in the last video, no pressure, April, but you're our only hope. You're my only hope to see somebody succeed and do great things with their weight loss. So I have faith in you, girl. I still do.
I'm grateful to be 2 weeks post-op. I'm grateful to be 2 weeks post-op without complications. That doesn't mean that there won't be any.
She also has one of the best hair games in girl world too. Her hair is looking good.
But praying for continued recovery and continued good things. And yeah, so this next week, I am most excited about being able to eat. So it's a soft food or pureed. I won't know exactly what that means until tomorrow.
And don't do like Alexandra Rodriguez and start pureeing buffalo chicken dip and shit like that.
So they've said pureed and soft foods, but then it's sort of ambiguous on what that means exactly until I meet with the dietitian. They probably do it so people don't jump ahead or something like that. But I'm ready. I'm ready to have real food. Today, I have already taken a 30-minute walk, and I feel good. Again, like that one spot was, by the time I was done, I was like, oh, did I go too fast? Did I go too hard? It hurts. But now that I've been home for a little while, it's settled down. So I feel good, and I'm grateful. How many times have I said I'm grateful in this video? A lot. Thank you for caring about me and for caring about my journey.
Okay, I'm going to end it here because she's just wrapping up. Okay, so all's good. All's well. I think she's doing good. She does definitely seem a lot more energetic and happy. I'm really happy she's lost 20 pounds. Our girl is down 20 pounds. Actual real pounds. I am believing her at this point. I'm just really excited to see how it keeps going for her. It'll be interesting to see how it goes and how she handles the progression from the post-op liquid diet to the soft food diet to getting back into regular foods and dealing with her biggest issue, which is the food. And like I said, I don't say that in a shameful way. That's my biggest problem. That's a lot of people's biggest problem. It is definitely a problematic thing for a lot of people. So I hope she's doing all the things she needs to do, and we will be here to support her and to watch all of the good stuff, right? So anyways, if you want to help out the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys all in the next video. So have a good one. Bye.